Can you tell us your first and your last name, please?
My name is Marina Hall.
Marina, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into medical billing?
Well, I have a corporate background. Actually, I worked there for years. And then one day, this company called National Medical Billing Reimbursement, they came into town and they are the first ones who introduced me to medical billing. There was a software called MediSoft, but it wasn't where you can send claims electronically. You had to do it on paper. And the reason that it was so interesting to me is because they said that we could do it from home. But at the time, these doctors, way back in 1992, they had drawers and drawers of claims that were denied. And so it just represented a lucrative way to make money and to do it from home.
From there, what inspired you to start your own medical billing company?
Well, I just got tired of that 9 to 5 grind. I got tired of a cap being put on my salary, and I saw that I could work from home and be in charge of my paycheck. It could grow however I wanted it to grow.
So once you got started in your medical billing company, what challenges did you face when you first started out, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Well, one of the challenges was to go out and try to find new doctors, right? Because you have to have doctors in order to do medical billing. So that was a challenge for me. So the way I overcame it is I invested in myself and I took a marketing class. And in the marketing class, they gave me templates and various things like that to help me to find doctors. And once I implemented those things, I was able to find a doctor quickly.
Lastly, on the background, what made you decide to branch into teaching medical billing now that you're doing this online?
Well, I had so many people that saw how I benefited from having my own business. They saw me traveling, they see me spending time with my mom and doing different things with my grandchildren because I would always post that on social media. So they always wanted to know, how did you get involved in medical billing? So I would always send them somewhere else. But I noticed that when I would send them somewhere else, they didn't come out really knowing how to do medical billing. So I thought that instead of sending them somewhere else, I can show them directly how to do it and how to learn medical billing and how to do it on their own.
For people who don't know, what exactly is medical billing and why is it important in healthcare?
Well, for people who don't know, medical billing basically is just a way to make sure that the doctor is paid for his services. For example, if someone has a cough, we can't write on the claim form cough. It has to be translated into a code. And that's what medical billing basically is to make sure that the doctor is paid for his services. Now, it is important in the healthcare field because it is the backbone of the healthcare field. Doctors cannot get paid unless there is someone who actually bills the claim. They can see patients all day long, but if they don't send that claim in correctly, they're not going to be paid.
Awesome. So you're saying there's a big demand for medical billers right now? Would you say that?
There is a huge demand for medical billers right now because there are literally 1 million doctors in the United States and hundreds of thousands of doctors who are graduating every year.
Every year, yeah. Okay. So what are some misconceptions that people have about medical billing?
Well, a lot of misconceptions that people have about medical billing is that they have to spend years of training in order to be a medical biller. They also mistakenly think that medical coding is the same as medical billing, and really those are two different functions.
Nice. Why is medical billing such a good option for people looking for work from home opportunities?
Well, it's a good option for people who have parents at home who are aging. They can be there for them. Also, it's good for single moms, moms who don't want to spend all that money in childcare or who are missing these great opportunities to be with them during soccer games or baseball games. They're missing events that they should be at.
Nice. Okay. So now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your program. So first, can you walk us through how your online program works?
Well, you would sign up for the program. It's a 4-day, 4-hour course, and it's very comprehensive. It gets rid of all of the fluff. The majority of these courses that people are taking in medical billing have a lot of filler stuff. They're stretching it out to a year, which is not necessary. So mine is very condensed. We talk about the core of medical billing. So when someone finishes this course, they are confident enough to go out and get a practice management system, go out and find a doctor and start working from home immediately.
Awesome. So what would you say makes your program different from other training options out there?
Well, as I mentioned, my program is different in that it is 4 days. It's not 9 months to a year. And it's very comprehensive. It includes everything, my templates, copies of my contracts, everything that I use to build my business from scratch. I'm giving that in the program.
Do your students need special software or equipment to get started?
Well, they are going to need a computer to get started, and they're going to need certain qualities, and courage is one of them.
Courage, okay. And then what kind of support do you give your students during and after the program?
Well, during the course, as we go through each lesson, we don't move on until everyone in the class actually understands the point that we're covering. I keep it small to 15 so that I can give specialized attention so that everyone understands what we're talking about before we move on to the next lesson.
Okay. And do you need a healthcare background to succeed in this field?
No. Actually, you can work in this field, a medical field, with no medical degree.
Nice, okay. And is this something people can do part-time or does it need to be full-time?
It can be part-time, it can be full-time. Medical billing is very flexible that way.
Can someone with no prior experience really get started in medical billing?
Yes, in this program, they really can get started with no experience because that's how I started. I'm a very good example of someone who started from nothing. I come from no medical background, I had no medical connections, and yet I was able to be successful. And I'm going to be helping these students to not have to start from scratch like I did, but I'm going to give them a complete blueprint, a template of everything that I did.
Awesome, okay. All right, so now let's really dive into this medical billing lifestyle, especially that work from home aspect. What does a typical day look like for a medical biller working from home?
Well, normally a typical day would be getting up for me in my pajamas, getting a cup of coffee, going outside to meditate a little bit, and then coming in and opening explanation of benefits and maybe processing a few claims until about noontime.
Okay, and how flexible is the schedule, would you say?
Well, I say that the schedule is very flexible. If you want to get up before the children get up in the morning and get all of your work done, you can do that. Or if you want to take one day a week and work 8 hours a day, you can do that. It's very flexible as long as claims get done. And you just want to make sure that the doctor is happy. As long as his money is flowing, you can do those claims basically anytime you want.
All right, how does medical billing compare to other work from home opportunities people might be looking at?
Well, other opportunities that are worked from home, usually you're working for a job, you're working for an actual company, and you have to clock in and clock out even though you're working from home. I have a friend who's doing working from home, and she has to clock out and let them know when she's going to the bathroom. But with medical billing and having your own business, you're in charge of when you get up, and you're in charge when you're doing the work, you're in charge of when you go on vacation or whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay, great. What kind of results can your students expect to see after going through your program?
Well, they can expect to walk out of there knowing exactly what their first step is in going out to get a client. They don't have to work on knowing every single thing in order to do medical billing. The first thing that they want to focus on is getting a client, and I show them exactly where to look for that and how to get it.
Awesome, okay. Can you share a success story that really stands out to you?
Yes, I just recently graduated someone from the program, and she right away got her marketing letter done. She tailored it in the same style that I did my marketing letter. And she sent it out to, I think, 7 or 8 different people, and she's already has a doctor that she's talking to that she is going to be signing next week.
Cool, awesome. And how has being a medical biller changed your life, and how have you seen it change the lives of others?
Well, it changed my life because it gave me absolute freedom and flexibility. I'm in charge of the income that I make. I don't have a ceiling on the money that I make. And it frees other people as well.
Nice, okay, so in closing, what advice would you give someone who's curious but hesitant about starting medical billing?
I say that if you don't take the first step in investing in yourself with medical billing, you really have nothing to lose. The cost of taking this course is very minimal, a minimum investment in yourself.
Where can people learn more about your program or sign up?
Social media is where you can learn more about what I'm doing, when the next class is going to be. You can find me on Instagram at The Billers Blueprint, and also a website at thebillersblueprint.com.